here's a list of some of the companies that are actively against and contesting the Stop Killing Games movement. I promise you, you will not be surprised by this list. Activision, go figure, EA, Epic Games, Microsoft, Riot Games, Roblox, Sega, Supercell, Sony, Nintendo, and Ubisoft. There are other companies too, and this is the full list based on who is lobbying against it. The Entertainment Software Association, or ESA, is representing a vast majority of these companies in their opposition to the Stop Killing Games movement because they say that enabling offline modes for older games instead of just pulling the plug on them will increase costs and limit the creative potential of dev teams. But, as people online have cleverly pointed out, changing key aspects of the game's code or enabling peer-to-peer servers, they'll not only be able to continue to sell the game and make money off their product, but everyone who still wants to play the game can play the game. Everybody wins in this situation. But to these greedy dirtbag companies, only they should win.
You greedy dirtbag!
If you're not familiar, which you probably are by now, Stop Killing Games is the name of a movement that, in a nutshell, is trying to make it illegal to shut down the servers for a game that the parent company has charged money for. For example, if a single-player game like Mario, for some reason required you to be online to play it, and the servers shut down, the game would be unplayable despite you dropping $70 on it. The movement is essentially to make that illegal, which obviously to everyone with a functioning cranium makes complete and total sense. Something you spent money on should never just be revoked on a whim by the company that made it. This means you don't actually own the game, and rather you're just paying a one-time fee to access a limited time service, which is exactly what most of these companies are arguing.
What?
For example, in 2014, The Crew shut down, and Ubisoft explicitly argued that it wasn't a game you were paying for. Get this, it was a live service, and therefore they had the right to take it down at any time because you only owned a license to a revocable live service. Classic Ubisoft wanting us to own nothing and be happy. Now you'll easily be able to guess who makes the same argument that these licenses to live services can be revoked at any time. Activision, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. These absolute titans in gaming do not want you to own their games, and instead want complete control over your access to their content even after you spend money on them. It's a ludicrous and dystopian idea, but it's actually real. These companies are in opposition to the movement to make it illegal to shut these games down that people have paid for. But allow me to educate you as to why this is the case. Now, I'm completely for the Stop Killing Games movement, and I have absolutely no sympathy towards the companies opposing it. But let me list the reasons why these companies oppose the movement. First, it's because some games have simply been created to only function online because a lot of the code is server-sided, not client-sided, meaning it exists within their servers, not within any code you physically downloaded to your console. It can take time and money to readapt to the game in this way, and therefore they'd never want to do it. And to a company like Activision, who is clearly hiding code and material that rigs the game on the server side, they will never in a million years allow this code to ever reach the client side to be data mined. Next is the clear financial hit they take by allowing a previous live service game to be played offline. With peer-to-peer connections, these parent companies can no longer make money off microtransactions, which is clearly where a majority of gaming money is coming from nowadays. Companies like Activision, Supercell, Ubisoft, Microsoft, and Epic Games have free-to-play games with 1,000 different microtransactions to purchase. With these things being unavailable, they would still have people playing the game, but it would be impossible for them to make money, which obviously isn't a viable business maneuver, if you're trying to make the most amount of money possible, that is. Additionally, in offline modes, player metrics and data cannot be harvested anymore, which means that these companies cannot track player engagement, playtime, popular modes, popular skins, or anything of that nature anymore, which is just another detriment to their business model. These are the most pressing reasons as to why these companies oppose Stop Killing Games. The problem with all of these supposed, but think about the companies arguments,
You tripping!
is that they expect to have their cake and eat it too. They expect to charge money for a game and still somehow have the right to revoke the ability to play said game once they feel like it. That's not only completely unethical and unfair, but it's completely abusive to the consumer. It's obviously just wrong. It goes against everything that capitalism stands for. And the problem is that these companies are trying to find legal loopholes in order to make this clearly messed up, greedy, and unfair business practice still permissible by law. And the Stop Killing Games movement is working overtime to fight back. Think about it. The giant companies that make COD, Overwatch, Apex, The Division, Mario Kart, Halo, and Fortnite all don't want you to own the games that you clearly have purchased. Epic Games is fighting for the right to be able to shut down Fortnite completely without offering peer-to-peer servers and hosting, even if you spent $1,000 on skins or whatever you buy in the game. You're buying games and microtransactions without knowing if they're going to last. As an example, I spent $40 on X-Defiant before it was sunsetted, and now that $40 is just gone. It's for nothing. It's just in Ubisoft's pocket now, and I have nothing to show for it. And you ever think about if that's how the older CODs are going to be? Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 2019, upwards. Like, eventually, these games are going to run out of service, which means every single penny you've spent on these games, you're not going to be able to access it. And these games don't have peer-to-peer connections like the older CODs, which means it's going to be gone. These companies are just taking our money and not even giving us guarantees or anything tangible for the purchase. In their eyes, we're not buying games. We're buying licenses to access a quote-unquote service, which happens to be a game for however long that service is available. They're arguing that video games that you can play and interact with and enjoy are not products or games. They're services. I don't even get how you can argue that point when games don't really even fit the description of a service. A service is like a plumber or an electrician or a teacher. It's not a form of entertainment, especially when it's something that you actively interact with. Even something like Disney Plus, I guess, is a service, but that's because they're serving you content. You're just sitting there watching.
What? What are you talking about?
But a game is something you have to interact with. Is that really a service? I guess if you really want to be nitpicky and play the semantics game, yes, it's technically a service. But the whole argument that you're buying a license to access a service that can be revoked at any time is kind of insane, and it doesn't make any sense. And do you know how they get us? The same way they get everyone. The terms of service, the end user license agreement, the thing we have to check off and sign up to everything we sign up for a game, account, or service. Don't believe me? Here's Activision's for Warzone. Quote, the program is licensed, not sold for your use. Or how about Ubisoft? This product is licensed to you, not sold. Or Nintendo's. This software is licensed, not sold to you. The license may be withdrawn by Nintendo at any time. I mean, it's our fault for signing up to it, but these companies are literally explicitly screwing us over in the terms of service alone for literally every game they distribute. It's their goal to have a game, or service as they call it, that is not even ours. We don't even own the game that we purchased at all. It's a license, one that we have no control over. But Stop Killing Games is opposing this kind of business practice, and you should too, because it's completely unfair. It's no surprise a company like Activision is against this kind of movement that benefits and protects the consumer. They are completely anti-consumer, which is hilarious considering that none of these companies would have reached the top without a capitalist ecosystem that literally is consumer-focused. The consumer should have the final say in a predominantly capitalist society. Stop letting them screw you over, pick where you spend your money, and play games that are worth your time. I'm Prime Pete. Take it easy.